freezing in mist. Though he could not see the lake in the distance, he knew it rested beyond the pall. Soon he pulled onto Superior Street. The manholes blowing steam might have been freeing ghosts. It had been his plan to drive up to Misqua, but he'd been delayed during a Minneapolis layover and decided it was too late. Instead, he drove onto Lake Avenue, parked, and stepped out into the evening. Now he could see the lake, a dark and undulating line that rolled onto the shore. The concussions were met with a hiss as the water sieved back through the pebbled beach. The fog had a crystalline sharpness, and he could feel on his cheeks the drizzle carried by the wind. It all felt so familiar, and he thought, I resemble this place. And then, my father, he was inhabited by it. But Duluth had also changed, where now T-shirt and antique shops kept address. Dive bars and pawn shops and shoe repair shops had once done a dismal business. More than a few of Noah's boyhood friends had ordered their first steins of beer in the slop shops that were now coffee houses and art galleries. As a kid, Noah had seen grown men stumble from doorways, drawing knives as they fell, ready to fight. Now he saw squalling kids and husbands and wives bickering over where to have dinner. The hotels had once offered hourly rates. Now half a dozen national chains were staked in Canal Park. There were bookshops, ice cream parlors, wilderness outfitters, toy stores, even a popcorn and cotton candy cart, all lining the street like a Vermont ski town. There did remain two stalwarts, the Tallahassee and the Freighter. The former, though it advertised jazz on Saturdays, was a topless bar with filthy taffeta curtains bunched in the windows. The latter was where Noah had ordered his first beer more than 20 years ago. It had also been his father's hideaway of choice. They were next door to each other, laggards from a vanished time. For all its squalor, the Freighter was a landmark, a bare-knuckle place that had not given way to slumming conventioneers or fraternity brothers down from the colleges. Dark, greasy air, thick with smoke, and blue neon hung like the fog as Noah stepped in for a draft and something to eat. A gauzy linoleum floor curled up from rotten floorboards, and a cobwebbed fishing net hung from the ceiling. Behind the bar, above the bottles of cheap booze, a series of photographs of oarboats in teakwood frames were nailed into the wall. A few tipplers sat at the bar, and behind the pull-tab counter, a silver-haired churchgoer did a crossword puzzle. The sign above her head announced a meat raffle on Wednesdays. Noah took a seat at the bar and swiveled around. Other than the murmuring of the drinkers and tinkling of pint glasses, the only sound came from an ancient television on the end of the bar broadcasting the local news. "You look familiar," the barman said, "but you aren't from around here." An old man with a ruddy face and drooping eyes, he looked familiar to Noah too. "I haven't been in here in years," Noah said, "but my old man used to call this place home." "Who was your old man?" "Olaf Torr." "Oh, Christ," the man said, wiping his hands on a rag before reaching under the counter for a bottle of Weiser's. "If you're Torr's boy, this is on me." Before Noah could decline, 2 shots of whiskey sat on the bar. "I can't drink this," Noah said. The barman drained the shot he'd poured for himself and smacked his lips. "You ain't Torr's boy if that's true." He poured another drink for himself. "Your pop's dead?" "Jesus, no," Noah said, then added, "Not yet." "He's still living up around Misqua?" "Unbelievably, he is." The barkeeper had not taken his eyes from Noah. He shook his head thoughtfully. "We used to fall on over to the Tallahassee every odd day of the week, your pops and me. Watch them girls shake tail." "You corrupted him, then?" "Sure, he needed corrupting." His father's old crony sipped the 2nd ounce of Weiser's. "What brings you home?" "I'm headed up to see him." "You tell that son of a bitch Mel says hello." "I'll do that," Noah said. "You hungry?" Mel asked. Noah ordered a burger basket and a pint of beer to help with the whiskey.